The Defenders is the culmination of the Marvel series on Netflix that sees Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist team up to put a stop to the Hand once and for all. The series stars Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, Mike Colter as Luke Cage, and Finn Jones as Danny Rand. Shows like this work the best when the fun isn't spoiled, so plot-wise, all I'm going to say is that the Defenders team up to fight the Hand. If you've been following Marvel's Netflix series, you know the tone and the characters quite well. All of the titular characters are back, as well as most of the supporting characters. Karen, Foggy, Colleen Wing, Patsy Walker, and Misty Knight fill out the cast and thus successfully create the feel of a living, breathing world. Marvel has been able to do this on the big screen since 2008, but it's only here on the small screen that it feels 100% natural. I do have problems with major events happening in the MCU and the Avengers are nowhere to be found. Here, when something massive goes down, all the local heroes show up to stop the threat. The Netflix series also handles another problem better than the MCU proper does. The police. The way the NYPD deals with the superpowered characters like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones is more competently handled than the way the government deals with the heroes of Civil War. The action in this series is top-notch. The fights are all well choreographed, well shot, and very impactful. I could almost feel the blows during some of the scenes myself. Each character has their own unique fighting style and thus deals with enemies differently. Daredevil is an aggressive martial artist, Iron Fist is more defensive, Luke Cage is slow but powerful, and Jessica Jones is a meat and potato puncher. Skill-wise, she's the lowest on the totem pole, but in the end, when they need her the most, she delivers. The Hand also have a unique fighting style, which makes the final fight that much more dynamic. In the end, the final product is quite polished and well made. I do have a few complaints though. Sigourney Weaver felt a bit out of place. Other members of the Hand have been present since Daredevil, and those characters carried more weight with them. Weaver fell out of place in the story as well as during the action. She's meant to be one of the fingers that creates the Hand, but her lack of believable martial arts skills makes her feel like the weakest link. Finally, and you're probably not going to hear this elsewhere, but there is a huge parallel to the Nolan Batman trilogy. The plot of this entire show is essentially Batman Begins, except Batman is able to deal with Ra's al Ghul and the League of Shadows on his own while it takes 4 Defenders to stop the Hand. I'm not nitpicking here either. It's exactly the same plot, but replace Gotham City with New York. It didn't make me dislike the show, but if I was only allowed to grade this show on originality of the plot, it would get a D. Overall, The Defenders is a very good series and a great way to wrap up the current Marvel series on Netflix. It would be nice to see these characters team up again in the future, and would also be even greater to see them show up in Infinity War. You know, as the B team. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give The Defenders an 8. So those are my thoughts on The Defenders. Our podcast hasn't been around as long as Daredevil, but I thought Daredevil was great, Season 2 was great, Jessica Jones was pretty good, and I liked Iron Fist, even though most people don't. And I like Luke Cage as well. Another criticism I have about this show, which I forgot to mention in the review proper, is the fact that there was one scene that actually made me dislike Luke Cage quite a bit, because he actually has a discussion about white privilege with Danny Rand, and I felt like that didn't fit with the tone of the show. Daredevil, Seasons 1 and 2, was able to keep the political rhetoric out of it. Jessica Jones got really deep in the whole feminist angle, which they try to put in all the entertainment nowadays, but a lot of people seem to reject. And Luke Cage almost skirted with a little bit too much of the whole Black Lives Matter, that type of crowd. Also, while perpetuating a lot of the stereotypes. So I found that kind of funny. But here, it really felt out of place. When you make a big crossover event, or you make big entertainment to appeal to the most people, you don't want to alienate your audiences by beating them over the head with rhetoric. So, as far as that goes, I thought The Defenders made a mistake. But if you take that out, damn good show. And that political rhetoric did not impact my score at all, so I just want to get that out of the way. If you like this review, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. If you didn't like this review, thanks for watching anyway. And we'll be back with more episodes this week on the podcast, so stay tuned.